Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is your host, Chris Chaos, and you are welcome to the Chaos Realm. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. You're not going to want to miss any of this. When Bill Finger and Bob Kane brought Batman to life in 1939, Hollywood has been doing the same with live-action adaptations of Batman as early as 1943. Lewis Wilson was the first one to don the cape and cowl in 1943. Robert Lowry was the next one to play Batman in 1949. Adam West played the Cape Crusader throughout the 60s. Alan Soleil voiced Batman throughout the 70s. Michael Keaton was the first one to play a live-action Batman in nearly a decade. He starred in Batman '89 and reprised his role for Batman Returns. Kevin Conroy would voice the Dark Knight until his death. Val Kilmer played Batman in Batman Forever in 1995. Clooney butchered this role in 97's Batman and Robin. Christian Bale would play Batman in 2006's Batman Begins. And he also reprised his role in 2008's The Dark Knight, and again in 2012's The Dark Knight Rises. Ben Affleck would take on the role in Batman vs. Superman and in Justice League. And now Robert Pattinson in The Batman. All these actors played an important role in all of our childhoods, and still to today. They all had a key in bringing Batman to life for us. Whether you grew up in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s, even the present, Batman's always been around. Nearly a century, Batman has existed. But what about the people that portrayed Batman that not everybody got to see? That wasn't able to bring everybody joy. The unsung heroes who never got the fame, fortune, notoriety that they deserved. Because that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. We're going to be talking about Batman fan films being equally or just as good as the Hollywood budget movies. Now, but what the fan films lack in special effects and the budget, they compromise it with heart and attention to detail, and more likely to have a comic accuracy depiction. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, because we are going to dive into Batman fan films. Are they good as or better than the Hollywood movies? Now, I'm not talking about fan films like this. No, these are just people that are either high on bath salts or their mental stability is very, very much in question. But none of this is going to happen in this video because this is just fucking pathetic. That's all I'm going to have to say about any of this. Pathetic and sad. So at least now you can rest assured that none of these bozos or jackoffs will be in this video contaminating us any further with their very terrible cosplay gone wrong. Now, this isn't a ranking system. I'm not critiquing or judging. They're just movies, fan films I legitimately enjoyed watching. And some of them, the villains that are in some of these, they're not even in Hollywood live adaptations yet. So this is a chance to see those villains, plus either seeing villains that you've already seen, but in a new light. It's a whole different world in the fan film, and I'm glad I found them. I really am. All right, the first fan film is from Chaotica Studios. It's called The Oath. Literally in the timeline, it follows directly right before Batman 1989. This literally leads up into the whole beginning of the movie, because it actually opens up with the police investigating the Johnny Gobbs incident where he quote unquote got ripped and took a walk off the roof. Yeah, it opens up with that. So, and this cop here is trying to pay for chemo treatment for his wife, and he almost turns crooked from Grissom's going to pay him off. And this is in 2 where the Axis Chemical raid and that whole thing out in the Axis Chemical scene in Batman 1989. This is all the beginning of that. It's all leading up to the Batman 1989 movie. It's a pretty neat thing. It takes place maybe a week or so prior to the Batman 1989, but it's literally right in that time frame. I mean, it's only a 17.5-minute movie, but it's definitely worth watching. I mean, it's won multiple awards, so if you don't want to take my word for it, you really can't argue with statistics. It's won multiple awards. The next film we're going to be looking at is from 80s Doubt Productions. It's 1986. This one is a Batman Punisher crossover. How cool is that? Batman and Punisher in the same movie. I mean, it's only just about 13-minute long video, But still, seeing Batman and Punisher in the same video is super neat. Plus, there's the Joker and the Penguin are in it, and it's a pretty cool video. It's in the middle of, I guess, the Penguin and some chick are in the middle of some drug trade or something, and Joker interrupts. Then Batman and the Punisher come in and clean the house. I mean, it's not like they teamed up. They just coincidentally showed up at the same place at the same time. But still, it's pretty neat because he shows Punisher on his end and then Batman on his end eventually they do meet up, and eventually they cross paths with the Joker, and Punisher kills the Joker, and that's going to lead these two to start a fight. But then the video's over. I really hope they make a part 2 to this and actually see Punisher and Batman fight. All right, this one's from Palm Drive Productions. It is called Nightmare Killing Joker. This one starts off, Joker is actually in Arkham being interviewed, and this story takes place from the Joker's point of view, leading up to the events of him being back in Arkham. Now, this was 24 hours after his release from Arkham, and he went out in the town. Jason Todd, you see, disguised himself as a Joker's driver. Now, he's out in the town doing his normal Joker shit. It turns out people aren't having it anymore, and he finds out that he's not top dog anymore, and soon goes to fix that, because Killer Croc now is the top dog, and we can't have that now, could we? So Joker kills off Croc and all his goons and takes over his strip club. And this time, Jason Todd is still disguised as a driver. And this is where he finds out that Joker's no longer doing crimes. He's into terrorism tactics now. So as Robin tries to stop it and his plethora of explosives, and we all read Death in the Family. We all seen the many adaptations of it. So we all know what happens now. Also, I like to point out the Joker, how he has a Jack Nicholson-esque vibe to him. And I like how they had the Jack Napier. They gave him that name, but they gave him the Arthur Fleck storyline of being a failed comic. I really enjoyed that. That's pretty cool. The next one is from Palm Drive Productions too. This one is Nightmare Part 1. This pretty much shows Batman in the Batcave, and he is, I guess he's reliving everything that happened with Robin's death. He's still feeling guilty about that. And in this movie, it shows how heavy it weighs on Bruce's shoulders that Jason Todd died and he couldn't save him. Because during this time, there wasn't much crime activity, so Batman didn't have to be out much. So all he had was time and to sit with his thoughts. So being that he's not preoccupied being Batman, Bruce has to sit alone in his own mind and relive everything that happened because he can't be preoccupied. So this movie shows a lot about that, and that's what I gathered from this movie, and I hope I'm right, but that's definitely the interpretation I got, that Bruce has to sit alone in his head because there's no crime, so he doesn't have to be Batman, so all he has is time, and the guilt weighs heavy on him. This one's from B Squared Productions, Valorant Productions, 344 Audio. Batman Nightmare. It's a cross between Death in the Family and Killing Joke, because in this, Batman is having the nightmare of both times when Barbara was paralyzed by the Joker and when Jason Todd was killed by the Joker. So it's a pretty cool crossover storyline thing involving pretty much, it's both storylines in the same story. I like what they did with that. It's pretty neat. In it, Batman's reliving it, but he has both at the same time pretty much. And it's either he has to save both of them, but he didn't save either one of them. So, yeah. And then he ends up fighting the Joker at the end. And the Joker every time is testing his morals, like trying to get Batman to snap and kill him. It's pretty neat. The fight, it escalates. You'll see, like, they starts off, it just fist on Joker has a knife and stuff, and then it turns to a crowbar fight, and then it escalates to Joker has a gun, and Batman pulls a gun on Joker. It's a pretty good movie. I cannot stress how I like the fact that they took a Death in the Family and a Killing Joke to make a whole new story. I would really like to see something more come of this, like a sequel or something, maybe like a whole line. Who knows? Hopefully it would happen. I really dug it. If anybody else saw it, please feel free to comment and leave your thoughts behind on it too, what you thought about this Batman fan film. And now for our honorable mentions. from the video clips in the intro. This is Batman Immortal. Then the next one was the very first actual Batman fan film I ever saw was Batman Dead End, which is fucking awesome. And then we got from Palm Drive Productions, Man or Bat. And our last one's from Bat in the Sun Productions. This is Dying is Easy. And let me tell you this. This video honestly seems like it's straight out of an Arkham cutaway scene, like the Arkham series games. It's so precise. Like a lot of this stuff, like it starts off 3 officers are missing. So Batman actually goes to a Mad Hatter drug den where he's running a kitty diddling ring, busts him. Then he's looking for these police the whole time, these 3 missing officers, where he goes to Arkham Asylum to question the Joker. Now, in there, Joker honestly believes that he's dying. But, and lo and behold, Batman been drugging him and making him sick for weeks to get him to believe that he was dying, to get him to spill the beans, because the Joker tried to get Batman to kill him now, and he kept on pushing Batman, and Batman almost broke, but that's what they want you to think, that Batman was going to snap and kill the Joker. He just did it enough to get the information he wanted out of him, then just left him. And the reason the Joker wanted Batman to kill him so bad is because he felt that their legacy was far too grand for him to be taken out by skin cancer. He thought that he needed to go out by Batman taking his life, that they had to have one more go around, and Batman ultimately ending his existence. It's pretty messed up relationship those two have, but oh well, you'll have that. Regardless of how old you were or how you found out about Batman, it doesn't matter. The point is, we are all Batman fans. And as long as Batman has his fans, Batman can never die. He's been living on further than we'll ever, as long as we instill Batman and the world knows about Batman. And please feel free to share in the comments your first Batman experience. I'm open, all ears, and if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, comment what I could have done different, please. I'm open to creative criticism. Just let me know what I could have done, or if you want me to do a different video, I'm open to all suggestions. Until next time, be safe, be happy, be you. Have a great one, everybody. And this is Chris Chaos. This has been the Chaos Realm, and I am out of here.